Hello and welcome to the Front Office Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Cameron, and as always, our show is sponsored by Tees and Trees Clothing. Tees and Trees is where we stand on business. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're checking into the show, man. We appreciate the check-in. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, share, follow button. Like if you agree, comment if you don't. As you all know, we always want to smoke. We always are very interested in hearing everybody else's opinion. It's not that kind of show. You know what I mean? I'm not going to hate you for your opinion. Don't hate me for mine. All right. Hope everybody's doing great, man. It's MLK weekend. Because I got the job with the state. I'm off on Monday. I can honestly say in my professional career, which has lasted about 20 years, a little bit more, I don't think I've worked for a company that actually celebrates the day except for now. And I am thrilled. So today I'm going to get on my part-time and do a little work. You should see it's 10:54 a.m., January 17th. And I'm going to go out and make a little extra money with my little side gig and come home and enjoy some good football. We got some great games coming up this weekend. It's the Elite Eight or divisional round. And we got some good ones, man. So we're going to get into it, man. I got one upset pick for you. I'm going to give you my feedback and predictions on each game, and we're going to leave it at that, man. Let's get to it. So first I want to talk about Saturday's game. We got a good one early. We got the Broncos and the Bills, man. In this game, I'm sticking with my original pick, man. I'm taking Buffalo, and I know they're the underdog, and I know Denver's got this great defense and all that. I'm going to tell you what game sticks out in my mind. As good as the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is, Buffalo went to Jacksonville and beat them in a very close game. Could have went either way, but Buffalo's defense made enough plays at the end. And I thought Josh Allen was great. He was Josh Allen. He does what the MVP is supposed to do, which is make the plays that other guys on the field can't do. It's not a knock to Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. I thought they played well. And again, I'm going to say it again. I thought they were playing the best football end of the year, better than any other team. Jacksonville went up to Denver in, I think it was like the weekend of the 18th or the 20th or something like that. And they smacked the shit out of Denver up there. Team. They play in warm weather. They play outside. They went up there in the elements in December and beat the shit out of them. And the way they did it was by Trevor Lawrence exposing that secondary a little bit. Now, I don't know if they're hurt, injured, whatever the case may be. Overall, they got a great defense. But clearly, they got holes that can be exposed. Pause. There's some areas in that defense that can be exposed. And I think the secondary is one of them. And Trevor Lawrence did it with a guy that's very Parker Washington, kind of a scat back kind of guy, smaller wide receiver, plays the slot, can, hurt you a number of different ways. Josh Allen has a very similar weapon in Khalil Shakir. Tied in, Strange, had a pretty big day. I think it was like 5 catches, almost close to 60 yards, had a touchdown. Josh Allen has two very good in Knox and Dawson. So the weapon there is just defense can hold up. This game is going to come down to like every game in the NFL, but this one I think a little bit more in particular, who can create the most turnovers. Whoever creates the most turnovers, I feel like you got a 95% chance of winning this game. And if you don't create the most turnovers, whoever's defense doesn't give up the big play. Because they're both big play teams. Josh Allen can hit a big play. Bo Nix can definitely hit a big play. They got a young rookie. I think he plays wide receiver, running back. I forget his name. I think he wears number 19. But they got some good weapons on that side. I'm going with the Bills. I feel like the Bills are going to be able to make enough plays, and I feel like the Bills got Josh Allen. They're the more experienced team going into this situation. I think Denver's going to be a little hyped up. But Sean Payton is a genius. You might not like him personally. I don't necessarily care for him, especially the comments he's making lately within the past year or so. But he is a great coach. Same guy that had the onside kick to open up the Super Bowl in the second half. Not a lot of coaches is going to do that. That's all Sean Payton. He's got that offense clicking. They don't score enough points for me. And I think if Buffalo gets up, if they get to 21, 27 and starts becoming a shootout, I think Denver's going to lose. If it becomes a shootout, it's Buffalo's type of game. If it's a slow, grind it out, play here, play there, yards here, yards there, that's going to be in favor of Denver because of their defense. but I do think it's going to be more of a shootout. I'm not saying the score is going to be high, but I think it's going to come down to which quarterback can make the most plays, which defense can come up with the most turnovers. So I'm definitely going with the Bills in that game. The next game is our NFC game, and it's just a straight up rivalry. It's just a straight up rivalry with the Seahawks and the Niners. They're 1-1 against each other this year. I think the Seahawks lost to San Francisco early in the year. I think it was the first game of the season. And they beat Sam Darnold up that game. They beat him up. Pearsall had a big day. Brock Purdy looked great. And then, injuries start setting in. The team starts settling in. The defenses, everybody gets locked in. Seattle went on a run. So did San Francisco. That's why they're here. All right. That's why they're here. I'm going with the home team in this one, though. I'm going with Seattle because I think no George Kittle puts a little bit more on Brock Purdy's plate. Now, don't get me wrong. He's got weapons. McCaffrey has held up health-wise this year, and that has been a big difference because their defense is ragtag and put together. They are missing a lot on that defense for the Niners. And I think this is where that's going to hurt you. Seattle can run the ball. Seattle can throw the ball. Seattle has an experienced quarterback who's been in this situation, pretty much was in this situation with Minnesota last year. I think Sam Darnold is exactly what that team needed. And I think you see a big day in them running the ball against that defense. I think they're going to run the ball very well. But, these teams don't like each other, so anything can happen. Adrenaline gets to rolling. I'm going with the Seahawks in this particular game. We're going to switch over to the Sunday games. The Sunday games are, I think, equally good, and that's where my upset special comes in. First game of the day. All right, first game of the day, you got the Patriots and the Texans. I think the Patriots are on upset alert. I think this is not a good combination for what y'all got going on. Now, the Texans got they got an uphill battle. They're going to be without Nico Collins, their star wide receiver. So that's gonna really, really limit Stroud, I think. That's going to limit him, and he's going to have to depend on other options. But I'm taking the Texans strictly because of their defense. I think they can contain what New England does. And New England is a very good team. Drake May is having an MVP type of year. I don't think he should be the MVP, but he is having an MVP type year. And they've had a very successful season. The problem is the weather is going to be an issue, I think. Not necessarily an issue. It's going to be cold. The Texans play inside. That's the one thing the Texans got going up against them besides the Nico Collins issue. But I think if that pass rush for the Texans can get to Drake May, I think they're going to cause a lot of turnovers. And I think it's going to be big, and I think that defense is going to score points, and they're going to step up. Collins is out with a concussion. All right, he's out with a concussion, I believe. Still in concussion protocol, which means if they can get to the next week, they'll probably get him. They'll probably get him back. The Patriots have a really good defense. They do. They are all the way around well-oiled team. You know what I mean? That offense can score a lot of points when they need to, and sometimes they don't have to score a lot of points because the defense is pitching out shutouts. But I do think the Texans' defense is better. The Texans' defense is better, and I think it's going to show. I think it's going to show. That's my upset special. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if New England wins. I would not be surprised, okay? But if I had to pick an upset this weekend, I think that's the team that should be on upset alert, is the Patriots, because I think the Texans' defense is the game changer. They can definitely come in there and win a game. They haven't played out at all this year, so we don't really have no film, so nobody knows, man, but I'm going with the Texans as my upset of the weekend. The last game, I think, is going to be also one of the better games this weekend, which is going to be the Chicago Bears and the Rams. I think they've played this year. I didn't have a chance to look it up. But very similar teams. Chicago's defense is very good. I think sneaky good. I think people don't really give them a lot of credit because they, maybe don't rank high and stopping the run or whatever the case may be. But that defense is really good. Montez Sweat on that D-line is a monster. They're well coached. Caleb Williams has to me taken the next step. Winning this game would be an even further step, but I'm sorry, I got to pick against you. I got to pick against you because I'm gonna take Stafford and the boys. And the reason why I'm gonna take Stafford and his boys is because of their defense. Okay, I think their defense is going to be the best defense that the Rams have played this year. And I don't care if the Bears beat them earlier this year, if they did play, I don't care. This is going to be the best defense. And Caleb right now does not have this thing all the way refined as far as playing quarterback. He is still, he is intense. He's definitely a gamer. He's a leader out there on that field. They know it. He's got weapons, but he still makes mistakes. And I think this Ram defense, you make mistakes, they're going to hurt you. I think that's the reason why they beat Carolina. Stafford was able to keep up with the points, and he'll be able to keep up with the points tonight. On Sunday night when they play. He'll be able to keep up with the points. He'll be able to put points on the board. Who's going to bring their defense to town? And I think the Rams defense is there no matter where they play, whether it's in LA, Chicago, Green Bay, whatever it is, that defense is solid. They've been solid all year. I don't see any major injuries that should stop them from being able to do what they do. And I got a lot of confidence in McVay. McVay has been in a lot of big games. Ben Johnson, new coach, has been in these big games before. As a coordinator, I think he definitely has the mental capacity for this. But again, it's his first time. And, sometimes you go on a run. Sometimes you can go out there and it doesn't matter if you're a first-year head coach or what. You can go all the way to the Super Bowl, maybe even win the Super Bowl. I'm not picking the Bears. I'm definitely going with the Rams. I like Stafford over the experience over Caleb Williams. I think the Rams are going to be able to run the ball pretty successfully. And I don't think anybody in that secondary can hold Devontae Adams or Puka Nacua. Okay. And the tight ends are starting to get into the act as well. So I'm gonna stick with my original pick. So let's recap. We got the Rams in the late game on Sunday. We got the Texans on the upset alert. Today we're taking the Seattle Seahawks, and we're taking the Bills. So Bills, Seahawks, Texans, and Rams. That's what we're going with. All right. But I'm not gonna do a whole long episode. This is the second one I'm dropping today. The other one I recorded on Wednesday, man. I'm just trying to get the info out as quickly as possible and try to get as much content out as possible, man. So y'all tune in. I will check back. We got a lot of NBA, MLK Day games. So being that I'm off work, I probably can get another episode out on Monday. But I'm your host, Marcus Cameron. This is the Front Office Podcast. Tees and Trees is the clothing line. Peace.